You've done it. You've won the lottery. Your ridiculously niche startup just got acquired for an even more ridiculous sum. Or perhaps you've simply decided that a diversified stock portfolio is no match for the emotional dividends of a really nice bag. So with the courage of a modern-day dragon slayer and a bank account to match, you walk into a gleaming, orange-tinted boutique. It's less a store and more a temple to minimalist luxury. The air itself feels expensive. You spot it across the room. The most famous handbag in the world. You lock eyes with it, you approach, and with a voice brimming with triumphant capitalism you say, "I'll take it." And the impeccably dressed employee just smiles. It's a kind smile, a warm smile, a smile that has been trained to within an inch of its life to convey both welcome and absolutely not in the same devastatingly polite expression. Because you, my friend, just committed the ultimate faux pas. You tried to play checkers in a 4D chess match you didn't even know you were playing. You thought you were a customer, when in fact, you are an applicant. This isn't a store, it's the final boss level of retail. And its victory condition isn't taking your money, it's deciding if you are worthy of giving it to them. And this entire, baffling social ritual is all thanks to the most brilliantly absurd, masterfully manipulative, and frankly genius supply chain in modern history. Welcome to Critical Path, where we explore stories and innovations about our global supply chain that connect our world to your everyday life, or possibly in this case, someone else's life. We're not here to talk about stitch counts or celebrity sightings. Okay, maybe a little, but mostly, we're here to peel back the orange leather curtain on a system designed not to give you what you want, but to fundamentally alter the very nature of wanting it. To understand this retail riddle, we first need to take everything you learned in Econ 101, put it in a very nice box, and set it gently on fire. Your textbook talks about the price elasticity of demand, a fancy term for the simple idea that as the price of a normal good goes up, demand for it goes down. You know, like when avocados get too expensive, and you sadly switch to regular toast. The Birkin looks at this fundamental law of economics and laughs. A throaty, Parisian laugh, because the Birkin is a Veblen good, an economic unicorn where the normal rules are gleefully thrown into a gold-plated trash can. The term was coined in 1899 by the brilliantly grumpy economist Thorstein Veblen. While observing the Gilded Age robber barons building gold-plated mansions just to outdo each other, he identified the concept of conspicuous consumption. It's the act of buying things not for their utility, but specifically to signal wealth and social status. The more expensive and harder to get something is, the more powerful it is as a signal. The price tag and the difficulty aren't barriers to entry. They are the entire point. This is the dark art of artificial scarcity. And while Hermes has perfected it for handbags, they learned from the best, specifically from the folks who convinced the world that a relatively common shiny carbon rock was the ultimate symbol of eternal love. Through the 20th century, the De Beers cartel masterfully controlled the global diamond supply, stockpiling them in London vaults to create the illusion of extreme rarity. Their marketing linked diamonds to love, marriage, and eternity, transforming a geological curiosity into a cultural necessity. Hermes saw this masterclass in perceived value and said, "Hold my champagne." They decided to apply the same principle not just to the supply of the object, but to the entire, agonizing, wonderful shopping experience itself. So how does it actually work? How do you get one? Well, let me be your guide. You don't just buy a Birkin, you must play the game. Level 1. Build your profile. In the world of Hermes, you are a ghost until you start spending. Before you can even be considered for the Holy Grail, you must prove your loyalty to the brand through a series of, let's call them, tributes. This means buying other, more accessible items. We're talking scarves, belts, shoes, home goods. A $1,500 porcelain ashtray you'll never use. A $700 Avalon blanket for a decorative ladder. A wildly expensive cashmere horse blanket, even if the only horse you've ever seen is in a Ralph Lauren logo. Each purchase is a breadcrumb, a signal to the mothership that you are a serious devotee. It's a point system. A silk twilly? 5 points. A pair of sneakers? 20 points. You are building a case, file by file, that you are not some tourist with a lucky casino win, but a future custodian of their holiest relic. Level 2. Cultivate the relationship. Now this is where it gets truly nuanced. The most crucial character in this entire saga is the sales associate, or SA. This isn't a salesperson. Oh no, that's far too transactional. This is your quest giver, your gatekeeper, your fairy godmother with a clipboard and a devastatingly chic haircut. They are the sole arbiter of your fate. Your entire purchase history, your politeness, your knowledge of the brand, even the perceived elegance of your shoes, are all being silently logged and evaluated. You must engage in the art of conversation. You can't be too direct. Asking, "Do you have any Birkins?" is the cardinal sin. It's like proposing on the first date. Instead, you talk about the weather. You talk about art. You buy a tie you don't need. It's a high-stakes, deeply commercialized friendship dance, a Cold War-esque exchange of pleasantries, where the real prize is a silent, unspoken understanding. Final level, the offer. Then, one day, maybe, if, and it's a huge, cosmically large, if, you have spent enough money, cultivated enough goodwill, and the stars align over Paris, a magical moment may occur. The SA might quietly lean in and ask if you'd like to see something. But you've worried from the back. This is it. This is the summons. This is the call to adventure. You are led to a private, soundproofed room. A box is placed before you with the reverence of a holy artifact, and inside is a Birkin. Now, will it be the size, color, leather, and hardware combination you've been dreaming of for years? The one you have on your Pinterest board? Almost certainly not. And here's the final test. If you refuse it, you may not get another offer for a year, or ever. Your name goes to the bottom of a list that may not even exist. So do you take it? You take it? You take it, you say thank you as if you've just been granted a favor by the Queen, and you walk out feeling like you've just pulled Excalibur from the stone. Okay, so it's a ridiculous, psychologically manipulative game that borders on a retail hazing ritual, I hear you. But to be fair to the evil geniuses in Paris, there is a kernel of logistical truth to the scarcity. A Birkin bag is, and I say this from a purely soulless supply chain perspective, a magnificent nightmare to produce. It starts with the leather. Hermes doesn't just buy A-grade leather, they practice total vertical integration. They own their own tanneries in France. They even own their own crocodile and alligator farms in Australia and the United States to control the supply of exotic skins from egg to handbag. They are notoriously picky. Only the most flawless, blemish-free hides make the cut. Connoisseurs can tell the difference between the supple, grainy Togo leather, the rigid, scratch-resistant Epsom, or the buttery, delicate Barinia that develops a unique patina over time. Each has its own supply chain, its own challenges. Then, each bag is constructed by a single artisan from start to finish. One person. One bag. This is not an assembly line, this is a solo performance. They train for years, sometimes up to a decade, to master the craft. The iconic saddle stitch, a technique borrowed from making horse harnesses, is stronger than any machine stitch. It has to be done by hand, with two separate needles passing through the same hole in opposite directions, creating a locking stitch. The entire process, from cutting the leather to polishing the final hardware, can take an artisan anywhere from 18 to 40 hours of focused, uninterrupted labor. So yes, there is a genuine production bottleneck. They couldn't make 1 million of these a year even if they wanted to. But the true genius is how they use this real, craft-based scarcity to justify and amplify the artificial, market-based scarcity. One feeds the other in a perfect, self-perpetuating, and extremely expensive loop. So what's the result of this masterfully engineered system? A brand that is essentially indestructible. It is a fortress of luxury that operates outside the normal rules of retail gravity. Hermes doesn't do sales. They don't need to collaborate with the latest influencer. In fact, the brand is the influencer. Their core products never get discounted. The desire is permanent, carefully cultivated over decades. This strategy also creates a secondary market that is, frankly, completely unhinged. It is a financial ecosystem unto itself. Birkins often sell at auction for 2, 3, or even 10 times their original retail price. It's one of the only consumer goods in the world that you can buy, use for a few years, and potentially sell for a significant profit. This insane resale value is the ultimate proof of concept for their supply chain. It creates a feedback loop. The high resale price validates the retail price and the difficulty, which in turn drives the resale price even higher. It's a perpetual motion machine, powered by desire and finance. And of course, this legendary success has become the holy scripture for other luxury and hype-based brands. It is the blueprint. The limited edition sneaker drop from Nike, where bots and humans fight for a handful of pairs. The years-long, often fruitless waitlist at a Rolex-authorized dealer. The entire, here today, gone forever, business model of Supreme. That's all just Birkinomics, translated for a different demographic with a different budget. So in the end, when you untangle all the threads of leather, logistics, and psychology, you find the breathtaking, audacious truth. Hermès isn't really in the business of selling handbags. They are in the business of selling a story. They are selling a journey, a trial, a pilgrimage. They are selling unattainability itself, and the bag is simply the proof that you completed the quest. The supply chain isn't a means to an end. It is the product. The game, the wait, the relationship, the frustration, the eventual triumph that is what people are truly paying for. The bag is just the trophy you get for winning. So next time you see a Birkin swinging from an arm, don't just see a $20,000 handbag. Don't just see a status symbol. See a logistical masterpiece, a psychological masterclass. See the culmination of a brilliant, multi-decade strategy. And see a testament to the fact that sometimes the most powerful thing a supply chain can possibly deliver is a beautifully wrapped, elegantly presented, and powerfully motivating no. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe for more fascinating stories about the global supply chain's impact on our daily lives. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to go spend $900 on a silk scarf and casually mention my deep appreciation for the brand's equestrian heritage.